Do you know what they say about right foots like Relebkhile Mofokeng's? I also don't know, actually. I'm sure they say something nice. I do know, however, what they say about left foots like Kabelo Dlamini's. They're very educated. They can open a can of beans, those ones. You know something? This wasn't our best game. I can be entirely honest about that. However, it is the sweetest one for many reasons, not least of which is that we are through to the Nedbank Cup Final at the second time of asking under this head coach. And you know what? I want to give him his credit. Congratulations to the coach. Congratulations to the players. And most importantly, congratulations to you, Buccaneers, and myself. Especially you lot in Gqeberha, because you guys got the memo. You know that when we know that it's done, we mark it by switching on our cell phone lights and lighting up that atmosphere, making sure that Eskom knows that we don't need their power. We've got our own as Buccaneers. You know what? Let me get into the game. Very fascinating one for many reasons. And just to start it off is that we come into the game obviously with a lot of momentum. We come into the game just feeling like we want to win this one and we can win this one. And the first 5 minutes, you know, we are right at them, at their necks, just foot on their necks, and we get the first goal. Obviously, the goal comes via a free kick. Kabelo Dlamini's left foot again in this competition, and I think he's now sort of staking a claim for winning, you know, the best player in the Nedbank Cup, if some sort of trophy to mark him as, you know, the best one this season in that competition. Again, just like in the Amazulu game, this time in the opposite corner, he puts it to the left side, and the goalkeeper just, you know, flat-footed as he watches the ball go past him. Pirates 1-0 under 5 minutes. And you think that it's that kind of game. You think that we're going to thrash them, right? However, for the next 40 minutes, which I'm going to tell you why, those 40 minutes for me are sort of my best, even though they weren't the best for Orlando Pirates. Sort of counterintuitively, why those 40 minutes when we're under the cosh from Chippa United are my best 40 minutes from Orlando Pirates. It's because, you know, when you have this momentum and maybe you could argue that the reason that we didn't lose is that actually momentum, even when things are going bad, you know that you kind of sense and you know that you've got everything in you to turn things around, right? But I've seen my team, I know my Pirates, is that when we start to be under the cosh a little bit, especially as Chippa United were onto us for the entirety of the first half, to be entirely honest. I mean, we score another goal sort of in between against the run of play as we are under pressure from them. However, for the whole of 40 minutes, after 5 minutes when we score, they're coming at us. And, you know, I saw some brilliant defending from Pirates. And I want to, you know, I'll start by saying this before you guys think that I'm against this player. I'll start by saying, well done to Thabiso Sesane. What a display. I love him. I'm watching him under the microscope because I think I've got a lot to say on him, and maybe I'll say a bit in this episode and some more in future episodes. You know, brilliant defending. First, Sesane, you know, Koki, Makaula, Munyani. I thought in that first half when we were under the cosh, I saw some brilliant defending from them, you know, with the blocks. Chippa United were trying to go to the flanks. People like Craig Martin, Kwaiba, we're trying to get crosses into our box to use the height and strength of Evanga to bring them down and sort of hustle a goal somehow, just like they did when we first played them this season in the reverse, well, not in the reverse fixture, but in the fixture in the DStv Premiership when we drew 1-1 with them at the same stadium. They sort of hustled a goal through, you know, sort of diagonals and throws and that kind of thing. That was their approach. That's how they got their goal. And in that game, and this is how I thought it looked like they wanted to get their goal as well. But brilliant defending from our defenders. Sesane, again, brilliant performance. Something I love about him is that he's also got that composure where when he wins the ball and then he turns and he plays a terrible pass. That's something about him, is that he's very good in his feet, he's very composed, he's very good at dribbling. However, his technique, his passing is not that great. But I'll talk more about that in future episodes. You guys are allowed to slaughter me in the comment section. That's totally fine. Munyani, again, he's one who's usually culprit when we're defending badly. His name is often in the mix. But today, the blocks that he was blocking, amazing stuff from him in the first half. Makaula, under the radar, as he always is, just sort of doing what he needs to, making us the team that we are. And I think people like Makaula, I keep saying, is that we are not this strong Orlando Pirates without the shift that he puts in that midfield. Just, winning the ball, bulldozing people here and there, fighting for stuff. And brilliant performance from those guys in the first half as we're under the cosh. Something to say is that Talent Mbata again shows his flash of brilliance in that first half, in that when he receives the ball, he can turn and then he drives forward with it. Super composed. He looks like someone who's playing with a lot of flair, Talent Mbata. He feels like, that Pirates jersey almost seems like it's home for Talent Mbata. And I think we should make sure that we make it home permanently again. Just to repeat that again, this is something I keep saying. We got to make sure that we sign Talent Mbata come end of the season, because he's massive for us in that midfield alongside Makehleni Makaula. However, the contrast that you saw when we brought on Tim in the second half, because I think Tim is the one that is key to the game changing for Orlando Pirates. I think something that Talent Mbata will have been looking at Tim and sort of studying, and maybe the head coaches and the technical team would have tipped him to look at, is just how he needs to be able to temporize the game for us. Because I think in the first half, when we're under the cosh, something we failed to do obviously is to escape our own defensive third. And part of it is because everything is so rushed, right? As Chippa United are sort of coming at us with with these attacks, I think we're also trying to counter in that, intensity with speed. And I think these players sometimes, especially these young players, will learn in moments that maybe you've just got to kill the speed of it and temporize it a little bit better. And I think that's what Tim does when he comes on. And when he does that, then our quality starts to come through. As he, sort of brings down the pace of the game and then ups the tempo, people like Maswanganyi start to show now on the ball. People like Mufukeng start to show, whom, I'm not going to talk about them. You guys know. I'm not going to say much on those guys. But they start to show as soon as, Tim is temporizing the game a little bit better. But however, here's something again that I want to say as a criticism for Sisani, besides the fact that, he's not that good at passing and he can get better maybe at that sort of thing. He's very good at, composing things, and when things look a bit rushed at the back, he can sort of come out with the ball with a lot of swagger and confidence, and I love that about him. But he'll play a pass that is, it won't reach its target a lot of the time that I've seen so far this season. And I think, there's room for him to improve. So I'm not going to knock him for that. I think he's a brilliant, brilliant defender. But part of the reason why I love him, I think is going to make part of the reason why I actually don't like him, is that, how Chippa actually gets their goal when we are 2-1 up after, obviously, Kabelo Dlamini free kick and another Kabelo Dlamini goal in the first half. Super composed finish. Just to talk about that quickly, is that, something that comes through in that second goal by Kabelo Dlamini is his brilliant first touch. Wow. The way that he kills the ball and he places it in the bottom corner, it just oozes class. We've come to see that a lot about Kabelo Dlamini lately. He's just someone with, a lot of talent. A lot of potential, and it's coming through lately, and I love it for him and for us especially. However, we're 2-0 up, and how we concede, their goal is something about Sesani, is that, his sort of die-hard, risk-it attitude sometimes makes him look a bit hasty, because he goes in for that header as the ball's, Nwabali, the Chippa United goalkeeper, plays a long ball, looking for Evanga, and then he sort of just jumps in Sesani. And I think you've got to be careful. You've got to be good with the timing of those ones. And I think that's where he's going to have to improve. Otherwise, the reason that we love him, that, he's sort of just plays his heart out, he wears his heart on his sleeves, is that he can make, you know, these risks. And in the first half, you guys might have seen where he flung a boot in someone's face in the penalty area, and that could have been given in another day as a penalty when we're 1-0 up. And so you don't want to take those risks. You want to be careful. And I mean, I get it. He's not very experienced in the PSL. He's someone who played a lot of football in the NFD, and he can still learn these things. And yeah, I guess the thing about young defenders, it's that, you know, the beauty of defenders is experience. Let me say that. And so young defenders, what they've got against them is lack of experience. And sometimes these rushed, hasty decisions in critical areas. I mean, where Sesani plays is that when he makes a mistake, you know, just like we saw today, you get punished. And he will learn that. You know, I'm very forgiving of it because of his age and because we're obviously through to the Nedbank Cup Final. But I think on another day, we could be massively disappointed by that mistake of being hasty sometimes. And I think he's got to learn to control that and know when to jump in, and sometimes just to compose yourself, get, you know, sort of a meter and take them on for pace. And so, yeah, but anyway, they score their 1 goal, and then we obviously are under the cosh again because they start to throw the kitchen sink at us. But yeah, we get the 3rd goal, and happy times for us as we get that 3rd goal via a corner and Tapelo Koki back post, 3-1 Buccaneers. Happy times. Give us Esperance. That's what we're asking for now. Maybe we want Esperance in the Nedbank Cup Final. I think that's who can handle us at the moment. However, we're obviously going to get either Mamelodi Sundowns or Stellenbosch. But over to you, Stellenbosch. We are waiting for you. You know that we want you. Mamelodi Sundowns have gotten something this year which is major, and I think it would be nice to actually get Stellenbosch and to sort of see where we are. They're a team that gave us a lot of problems. You know, I think a Pirates versus Sundowns final, as much as it's great for sort of the hype around the game and all of that, but I know what to expect. It's going to be very tight. It's probably going to go to penalties and all of that. But I think what's going to be exciting is a Pirates versus Stellenbosch final. I think Stellenbosch will want to go at us. I think we're going to go at them. And so we wait for them. Anyway, let me leave it here. Let me go celebrate like you guys are celebrating. Up the mighty Bucks. Cheers. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video from Talking Buccaneers. If you did, please hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all our future content.